I interrupt this regularly scheduled podcast so I could give a message to the American prodigy. I hear you loud and clear. October 1st, DCCW in McClenny, Florida, you showed up. You made your presence known and you almost cost me the match. See, before, it was business. Now, it's very much personal. So, American prodigy, watch your back, because the prodigy is about to become a nightmare. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. But the only thing you're going to hear is that I'm El Niño, an American prodigy. One way or the other, you will subscribe.
With that little festivity. Guys, I am Warren Marlowe from the Buzzing With Marlowe podcast, and you are getting ready for a magnificent holiday spectacular. Guys, but first, before we get started, if you are new to the channel, make sure definitely need to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Hit that notification bell right there. Bing! And stay in contact with all our platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, Tumblr, all those, man, at Buzzing With Marlowe or at Warren Marlowe. Also, guys, you can check us out on all audio platforms, just to name a few: Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, Podvine, Buzzsprout, Good Pods, including Apple products as well. Guys, we are basically on everything except Pandora. But guys, it is Friday. I'm excited, as you can tell, guys. Also, if you see the awesome hats, make sure you go to our bonfire shop, bonfire/Buzzing With Marlowe, and get you some merch. It's Christmas time, guys. What better way to get somebody a holiday cheer with some Buzzing With Marlowe gear? That's right, guys. We got these awesome hats. Hey, got to look ready to go. Also, you got the V-necks, tank tops, all that. Wait. Boom! That's right, guys. I try to be a little festive today. Got the kind for y'all today. Try out, get that little festive, man. I'm excited today, man. It's gonna be a fun episode. Guys, also, man, Merry Christmas. Is literally this Sunday, it's Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate, hey, happy holidays to you and your family. But guys, it is Buzzing With Marlowe, and we're gonna be talking Christmas. We're gonna talk about it. When I put this on, this thing right here, this is what it's going to symbolize for today. Because, guys, I have an awesome guest for us today. This one will not be for the kids. I will just give you a heads up now. If your kids are watching this, go ahead and take them off. I mean, it sucks. We love the viewership. We love the audience, just all built around as one. But, kids, today is not the episode you need for Buzzing With Marlowe. I am sorry to tell y'all now. Before we get to introducing who my guest is and what's going on with that, I want everybody to get a quick shout out. We had an episode this Wednesday that just went by, finale, the top 5 greatest moments, top 5 greatest and worst moments. Eric the Joker and my Dre on Wheels from the 1130 podcast. Also, that night, he was celebrating his year anniversary with the podcast world, man. Shout out to Dre. Shout out to all my boys from the commission. Eric the Joker has really came up, guys. I'm telling y'all right now, last week, I'm going to get my son in Georgia, and then we were going to go to Disney World, which recently got. I'm recovering from it. I'm excited. Shout out to Buzzsprout. if you try to make a podcast, man, definitely check out Anchor. You can make money by using your words. Most importantly, guys, you don't even need all the headsets, the camera, all that, man. All you need is a phone, a good little headset, and you are good to go get recorded and get you started. That's how Buzzing with Marlowe started, and that's how a lot of podcasts have begun and obviously grown. But to get you started out, get your foot in the door, man, go check out Anchor. It is to use. Make money by using your words. But guys, also, I want to give a shout out to the boys that have really been helping me have the energy to get this episode to y'all. That's right, guys. I'm talking about Raz Energy. Guys, go on that website, razenergy.com. Type in the promo code BUZZ20 and you get 10% off on all purchases. If you tell them that Buzzing with Marlowe sent you, you will get 10% off on. They have energy drinks. They have protein shakes. They have merch. They've got hoodies now. They've got some newer flavors. They recently just got the newer flavor ginger ale. So guys, go to Raz Energy, type in the promo code BUZZ20 and you get 10% off. You can't get no better than that. And if you need the energy to boost yourself like how I am today, obviously recovering from being at Disney with the fam, shout out to them, man. They've been helping me. So go to Raz Energy, type code BUZZ20, and you get 10% off. Woo! All right, guys. Also, I want to give a shout out to Cheap Pop Pro Wrestling. I'm on their little faction. I think it's the Faction Fantasy Tournament right now. I am currently in the finals, and I am facing the Jobber Tears podcast. That's right, guys. Buzzing with Marlowe's first time in that game, and he is facing the Jobber Tears podcast. That's right, guys. So we will find out the results next week. If Buzzing with Marlowe is coming in there, rocking Mr. Blue, taking over and winning that championship, or is the Jobber Tears going to beat me down like Braun Strowman has been back since he's been back to WWE? Who knows? Who knows, man, because they gave us an opportunity. My boy, my brother from another mother, Blackheart, and his group, I got lucky. I'll just say that. I got lucky. They gave me a fight, and man, it's been really cool see the results and stuff like that, and kind of got to get a little bit more of a shout out to Cheap Pop, man. It was definitely cool and it's awesome and a great honor to be in the finals to face the Jobber Tears podcast this week. So results will be out next week, so we will reveal who wins that. Also, guys, season finale of Commission. I don't know if I mentioned already. Commission Talks. That was the season finale for 2022. We will be back the week of the Royal Rumble. So stay tuned. We will definitely be back for that. Obviously, Dre has got his 3-year anniversary that just went by on Wednesday. My boy Eric the Joker, he's not coming till I think in January as well for the opportunity, and a lot of big stuff happening regarding Commission in the near and going into 2023. So I'm excited for that. But guys, that isn't then, this is now. And I'm ready to bring y'all one heck of a funny episode. Like I said, guys, this episode will not be for the kids. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about Disney a little bit, but it's not going to be the Disney that y'all want to reference. It's those ones where you go and you go, oh, I found the wrong video of this. So that's how I'm going to approach this right now, guys. Because, guys, today my guest is CA Kanooble. That's right, guys. Comedian, author, mental health specialist, and also a survivor of a very drastic issue when it comes to. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. CA Kanooble is going to be on our screen today, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and it's just going to be all out there. I'm excited. So, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break real quick, and then back. The countdown starts 30-1, and we will be joined with CA Kanooble. And that countdown starts in 3, 2, 1. See y'all later.
with Batsy. With Batsy. It was just last night, as the entire country was tuning into its favorite talk show.
You simply makes you a stranger.
VMAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Don't even know why I'm watching, cause it ain't funny when you ain't here. But I know you're going away, so I'm watching so we can stay. Yeah, I heard you trying to protect myself. I ain't making excuses, I'm just letting you know I understand why you live. It was toxic, that couldn't help. You trying so hard to love me, but I really couldn't love myself. I needed your patience, baby, with times of whole time I really felt like I wasn't enough. Deleted all of your pictures cause I can't stomach the fact. After all that we've been through, my baby's not coming back. I swear that I'll go down crying while I'm riding this train. I swear that I'll go down crying while I'm riding this train. Got more words this. Day one popped out, ain't nobody in this motherfucker fly to me. These bitches all in my DM, texting them back was good, but I ain't really trying to see them.
Out, he said he accepted, and you know what? Nobody wants to see it. Because nobody remembers the American Prodigy. All this history, and nobody cares. But if you could find one, that's all I'm asking. If you could find one promotion that wants to put this on, I'll be there. I will be. There's no running. There's no running. Not at all. I will be there. Right in the center of the ring. You versus me. And then when I beat you, you'll understand that maybe wrestling wasn't for you. Maybe this is a good new career change. You're a podcaster. You're an influencer, social media.
What's up?
Florida, weighing 238 pounds.
In with Batsy. It was just last night as the entire country was tuning into its favorite talk show.
Kill you simply makes you a stranger.
All right, guys, I'm joined with CA Kanooble. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It is Friday. Thank the Lord.
Yes.
So, where are you currently at right now?
I am in Philadelphia, PA.
Oh, man.
Home of the John and how the hands are buy one, get one free. So
I love it. That is not a lie.
hey, listen, from back shots to gunshots, it's a Philly love story, okay?
Hey, I love it. I love it. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, so that's a whole different scenario. So are you born and raised in Philly?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I can tell you're probably a Sixers fan for sure, aren't you?
I don't even do sports. How's that?
Really? You are the first I've ever met that is from Philly that doesn't care for sports.
I mean, if it's live, I'll go, to a live game, but I'm not going to sit here in front of it. I don't even watch TV, so that's part of the reason why. But I'm not going to sit in front of a TV and scream at it. If I get married, I'm going to literally turn sports on for my husband so that I can be left alone.
So they're going to be two different TVs, just one that's just whatever, and then sports right there to make the man happy, right?
I only need one TV because I don't even watch it.
Oh, there you go.
My TV is a decorative piece.
I love it. Saves the energy.
Yes.
So, if nobody knows who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is CA Kanooble. CA is just short for Christiane, because I know a lot of people get curious. Most people mess up my first name, so CA was a lot easier for them to get. Like I said, from Philly. I'm a comedian. I'm also an author, a MILF, a hoe, and a throat goat in my area. And a mental health advocate and patient.
So many costumes.
So many hats.
I love it. So I want to tap in first. Obviously, your sense of humor. You had to be a comedian. Had to be. There's no. When we first interact, I was like, yeah, this is a comedian, hands down. Just the sense of humor and stuff like that. So, how did that get into a role? Because I know in Philadelphia, comedy is a big thing. So, is that always been something that you always wanted to do, or is that something that just fell in your lap?
Well, I have always acted a fool. Literally, I've just always been this way. Thanks. It's the trauma. No, I'm just kidding. But I've just always been the storyteller of my friends group, but I've also been through a lot of things that I can tell stories about that people want to hear about. When it comes to onstage comedy, I actually started coming up in January on 3 years, right before the pandemic. Worst time possible. 2 months before the pandemic. I'm like, let me hit this stage. And then the world was like, no. Okay.
Zoom wasn't working.
I couldn't do it. I tried once, and it wasn't even Zoom. It was Clubhouse. Because first of all, I won't step anywhere near Zoom, and here's why. They call it Zoom for a reason, because when you get into those meetings, it's like this in your face. And that's not a cute angle for someone like me. I've got like 6 chins down here. It was just not cute. So I was like, yeah, it's if anybody ever books me for an interview or something and they say Zoom, I'm like,
out.
never mind, cancel it. Like I'm not, no. But yeah, I did one through Clubhouse and I was like, this is weird. How can you tell jokes to yourself, looking at yourself? And a Clubhouse, there's not even visual. Like you're literally just listening and speaking into the phone. And am I supposed to just like I'll like pull my sound card up and do the laugh button at myself in the background? Like I need people to interact with, you know? That's
something I learned in wrestling. Fake it till you make it. So
listen, I don't fake nothing. I don't fake smiles, appearances, or orgasms or laughs. Okay, so write that down. I am 100% real. Maybe a little too real. It's made me some enemies. So
there's always going to be somebody. My gosh, especially the way this world is now. Oh my Lord!
I love making people uncomfortable. I love it.
This generation would probably be in 2 words, and I guarantee you someone's posting something and it said, sad face.
Yeah, and those words are moist and John. Those 2 words.
So how did you start your comedy gig and stuff like that? Like you said, you started right during COVID?
Right before COVID. I started in January 2020. COVID hit in March.
Oh, so, my goodness.
I actually reconnected with a longtime friend of mine who was already doing on-stage comedy. And he was like, why don't you come out? Like, you should absolutely come out and try this. And I did. And I nailed that shit. And yeah, I kept going. I don't really do as many open mics anymore. It's not because I'm like, you know, or I think I'm like too good for open mics. It's just like, I'm a single parent and I got shit to do. Like, I do not have time to be, and most of them are during the week. Why?
Yeah. I've never understood this. I've never understood that. I've never understood open mic nights on weekdays.
They're all on weekdays here. All of them. They're like, hey, are you coming out on Thursday? I'm like, ew. Thursday? God,
One more day, maybe.
Yeah, maybe like Friday or like Saturday, but one of those 2, because not Sunday either. Sunday's like the worst of them all. First of all, I got to get ready for the week because I'm old. I'm in my 30s. Like, I'm leaving by 11:30. Write that down. If I'm not on the mic before 11:30, I'm not coming, you know, because I'm going home. I got bills and shit. You know, people out till 2 o'clock in the morning, like, please, can I have 3 to 5 minutes? Like, fuck you, I'm going home. I'll talk into my computer for 3 to 5 minutes, and I didn't even have to leave or put a bra on, you know?
There you go. I like it. I like it. I've never understood why anything is like on Sundays. Out of any day, Sunday is like guaranteed there should be nothing fully planned on a Sunday. Like,
Sunday is
I've
the Lord's
never
day.
understood.
And I am the Lord on my Sundays in my house. So
that's literally what I consider like the full-on lazy day. Like literally either clean, spend time with the family. That's like what I call the recuperating day. I work 3 days a week. So I work Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I'm off Tuesday through Friday. And they're long hours. But I tell people all the time, like, Sundays is literally like one of those days that nothing should be going on.
Sunday is, I literally have a reminder in my phone that says, a clean home is a happy home. Get to work. That's my cleaning day. And what kind of music you hear depends on the week I had. If you hear Slipknot, it's probably not a good idea to come up knocking on my door or calling my phone. Because, like, I have the windows open and Slipknot is blaring. Something is off that week, you know?
Somebody's glass is broken.
Exactly. Or if you hear, you know, like Elvis or some kind of oldies, like, come on up. Come on up. Grab a broom. Grab a broom. Do not come to my house on a cleaning day and expect to not be cleaning, bitch, because guess what? We in here. You come on a Sunday, you signed up for cleaning. Pizza not included.
Bring your own food.
Yep. And bring your own cleaning supplies. I'm running low.
That's great. That is great. So you just hit your 3 years and stuff like that. So what are some of the things that you have experienced being in the comedy
background.
Ugh. So, all right, when I first started comedy, and I hate talking about this, but like it needs to be talked about. I was still fresh in the game, and I did a show in Atlantic City. I was very excited about it. I was like one of the features. I think I got like 3 or 5 minutes. Well, usually when you're on stage, they give you like a light to let you know, like, hey, start shutting the fuck up because you got like a minute left. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but I probably did like 6 times already. I'm drinking and everything. I don't think it matters. But
don't worry, I'll have this one
trigger warning in there too. You never know with me. This viewer discretion is advised. There you go. I got you. As far as this show that I did in Atlantic City, I was really excited about it. You know, my family's sharing it everywhere, but no one could make it because I think it was like, I don't know. It's like an hour and a half drive for us. So I think if they're old, the show was late, you know? So I'm like, oh, it's going down. I'm with a friend of mine. They upgraded our room. So I had like a condo up there.
Oh, wow.
I was feeling myself. Okay. I even curled my hair, and that takes a long time. My hair is actually, don't let it fool you, really long. So the girls get me. But we go down there. I'm already drinking. They had these frozen drinks. They had pina colada flavored ones, and anything coconut or pineapple is okay by me. So I'm like 2 deep. Now, mind you, I drink straight whiskey, so that's nothing. But, you know, I'm getting there, you know.
You're feeling yourself.
Feel a little loose, and I see a divorcee party. Yes, a bunch of young divorced girls. I tell hoe jokes. I was hype. I'm like, I got so many dick jokes. So many. Like, I was so prepared. And then maybe 2 minutes before I go on stage, my mom, my grandfather, my stepdad, and my sister walk in. I'm like, no.
Surprise.
Like, no. Like, no. Go, get out, you know? Because, like, my mom and my stepdad and my little, you know, not my little sister, but my older sister, I'm like, whatever. You're going to hear it. You came. You hear what you hear. But my grandfather, though, like, I can't talk about dicks.
That's like that Sunday. That's like that Sunday.
Exactly. Like, that's like Jesus walking in when I'm about to masturbate or something. You know what I mean? Like Jesus peeking in my window and shit. Like, come on, Jesus, let me finish, you know? Yeah, no, I was just like, well, there goes that. And then, like, they actually let me talk for like 18 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I don't even remember what was said. I can't find the video, but in my head, because I'm a Virgo, it did not go well. But that's because it was one of my first shows, and I'm not used to that. Now, I don't care if Jesus walks in. We're talking about dicks here. You made a decision when you walked in the door. So, you know, hide your kids. That's all.
Hide your kids.
Hide your kids. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's great. So you said you were a little shy at first, so Atlantic City and stuff, and then obviously your family coming in. That's gotta be insane. Like,
yeah.
Expect something like that, but they're like, nah, it's not that bad. It's our youngin', like, no big deal. And they're like, did you know about that?
To be fair, they know the style of comedy that I had. One of my jokes while I was on stage, because I was like, you know what? Like, these are the jokes I got planned. So that's what I'm going for. You know, I tried to, like, throw some other things in there, but I'm like, this isn't it. It's not him. You could tell my heart wasn't in it. So I was like, so I'm in a committed relationship with my vibrator, you know? And I was just like, it is what it is, Pops. But he was cracking up the whole time. I'm like, so I could have told these dick jokes the whole time, you know? It was just like, ugh, you know? And after he was like, oh, you're hilarious, you know? I love him. He's great. He actually is the reason that I act a fool the way I do. Because, for example, this is the kind of person my grandfather is. When we went up to the Poconos, and this was before I even graduated high school. I think I was in like 10th grade. Mm-hmm. We drove by, and I'm big on like flea markets and yard sales because I'm big on like collectibles and Disney and stuff. Like, it's disgusting. Don't ask about my Disney collection. I'm trying to get rid of stuff because I have so much. But
we're getting prepared to go to Disney, so we have a Minnie Mouse purse. We've got Minnie Mouse ears. My child has a freaking Minnie Mouse outfit that has the ears outlined on the head.
That's cute, though.
She tried to buy me one. I said, I ain't wearing it.
Oh, come on, man. I'm siding with your wife on that one.
I have Star Wars, and I heard Star Wars is owned by Disney, so I think that's considered the same.
It counts. It still counts.
She argues with me. She says it's not, but I was like, actually, it is. It's at Disney, so it's okay.
It's Disney now. And
same with superheroes.
Yeah, and you can even say that, like adults aren't allowed to wear costumes at Disney. So that gets you out of wearing the hoodie.
There you go. Yeah,
like,
my wife has been nuts about this Disney stuff, so trust me.
She's like me then. But for me, I have like antique collectible stuff. Like I have sticker books from 1992 that aren't even used, mint condition. I have like the Burger King cups.
Oh my gosh.
I have all of them.
I haven't seen them in forever. Oh my
I have the
gosh.
lithographs, which is basically like a picture with the Disney seal on it, like a still from the movie. I have all of them. All of them. Every movie.
In good condition?
Still in the envelope.
Oh wow.
Yeah. A lot of them I'm keeping. So
I was gonna say, yeah, that's probably a good choice. Like some of that stuff is valuable.
I even have a Disney Villains Tarot card deck, okay? Like, there's no need for that. There's no need. It just is what it is. So.
Something that you love.
Plates. Like, I have everything, man.
I like how you said that, because my mom and them still have the Lion King plates. I remember those. I think it was at McDonald's. I think they did them.
Yeah, it was the McDonald's or Burger King. But I have I also have, like, ceramic plates.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the box and the certificate.
Well, I don't have all that. I know I don't have that.
I go to thrift stores a lot, and like I've been so good. I think I haven't stepped foot in a thrift store in like 6 months. So
damn,
I'm doing good. It's like an addiction, man. It really is. Because I'm like, what Disney stuff can I find? Like, what can I find? And then I do. I have like music boxes, like snow globes. Like, why?
You literally have Disney in your apartment. Is that what you're trying to say?
My bedroom used to be Disney. And I was like, Christy, you are 31 years old. 31. Like, it's time to stop.
Next thing you want to tell me, like, your bed covers are all Minnie Mouse.
No. That's where the magic happens, though, I will say. Hey. No, now I have, like, a neon sign above my bed that says Ho on the go for my podcast. I got to let them know. As soon as they walk in the door, I turn the light on. Bing! It's like, Ho on the go.
All right, let's talk about that. So, how did you get into the world of podcasting? Was that something that you got into with the comedy standpoint?
No. So what had happened was
that's when you know something's going down, when you start the story that way.
Because there's some drama, so I'm going to tell you, because I don't care. Fuck that guy. Anyway, I reconnected with a friend of mine from when I was a teenager. And this was right after my, let's say, mental health excursion. Okay? So still wasn't really... No, I don't want to say normal, because that's never going to be a thing for me. Like, I gave that shit up a long time ago, you know? Normal is a setting on a washer, and that's about it. But I met up with a friend of mine from when I was a teenager. I hadn't seen him in a long time, and he had a podcast network. And I was like, what the fuck is a podcast? Because I listen to books, you know, and music, like Slipknot. Like, is that music? Like, what is that? He's like, no, it's like people go on and they talk about shit. And I was like, do people listen to them? Because I'm a borderline, like, I have been invalidated 75% of my life. So I'm like, wait, like, people will listen to me if I do this. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, fuck yeah, sign me up, you know?
I love that story, because I literally had the same thing. When I first got into wrestling, a lot of them would tell me, like, to learn the lifestyle of wrestling, you got to go listen to these podcasts. And I'd listen to Chris Jericho, Jim Cornette, all these guys. I mean, I'm thinking, like, man, obviously they got a better lifestyle than I did, but literally they did the exact same thing. I'm just at the beginner stage going up to this level. And I was like, and I learned so from all these podcasts. I literally, and I love how you just said, I thought it was an audiobook. I did not know it was something that you just have chats and all that. I legit thought it was like, why do I want to live? And the one person that made me realize I could probably do this was when I started listening to Stone Cold, because Stone Cold's got that old roughneck country,
That's my
like
guy.
I'll kick your ass type voice. And I was like, if he could do that, I know I can come in and do this. So I love how you got into comedy right before COVID. That's how I started this podcast, was because of, I just did an episode like, shit, now I gotta do this more. And needless to say, I've done from this, now is my season 4 one. I'd hit my 100. I sat there and said, if I learn something, that means the episode is good. If I'm not learning, then obviously I know there's something that's going to be a stop button. So literally it
really can. So when I got into podcasting, he had a network and he was like, I need a comedy podcast. And I was like, okay, when are we doing this? Because I'm a Virgo. Like, I plan things and I do marketing and advertising. So, like, I need to have a whole business plan, like, outlined for my episodes, my seasons, like, everything. Right. And he was like, 2 weeks. I was like, bitch, what? Like, I'm sorry, 2 weeks? That's no. But I did. So I called it Ho on the Go after my Ho handbook. And it started out with me and the friend that actually got me into comedy as my co-host, because we went over like certain topics, but he gave kind of like the man in a relationship standpoint. And then I gave the ho standpoint to be, single ho. Hey, hoes are top tier. You keep laughing, but hoes are top tier. Okay. So, but beyond that, it was like, nothing but problems with this guy, man. He was just like hard to get a hold of. He was producing the show in the background. So I didn't know how to do anything. I was just like, camera on. Hey, like that was me, and I had made the Facebook page. I think I had like 250 followers before I even launched an episode, because people were like, yes, comedy, funny, she's hot, follow. Like that's how it went, So after the second episode, which was late every single time, not my fault, but irrelevant. By the third one, like this, you could see it. And I removed them as episodes. I put them as bonuses actually now, because after that, I left the network because literally 10 minutes, maybe 10 to 30 minutes before our third episode was supposed to air, everybody blocked me and went ghost.
Really?
Right? I was like, hello? Like, what happened? So I was like, well, I guess we're not having an episode tonight, everybody. And I kind of did some research, played around on StreamYard. I already had my Anchor account. So I was like, you know what? We in here. Anchor. And then I think it was
Anchor
the next
was
day.
a startup for me, and I'm so glad I'm up on that now.
I love Anchor. I'm not going to lie to you. I love Anchor because there's no limit. I don't have to pay for it.
The editing can be a pain in the ass. I will say that.
If you don't do it on the phone, do it on your phone. So what I do is I upload it on my computer to Anchor, and then I go on my phone and I edit the audio. So much easier. But it is a pain in the balls. I get it. But I'm not paying for it, man. So
that is true. That is true.
But yeah,
luckily StreamYard is not too out of the pocket.
I do the middle package, but I'm also an affiliate, so when people sign up and they get a package, I get money off, and I can offer them $10 off as a starter up. So that's always nice.
So you started you researched and looked up StreamYard and learned how to do everything basically on your own now. So what's the difference from that point compared to obviously you just the face on the camera? So how is that transition?
Honestly, fantastic, because like with StreamYard, you put tabs up as you change subjects. Well, it was always like either too early or too late, or like, hey, shut the fuck up, go to the next topic. And I was like, no, like, fuck you, go back. I'm not done. I'm talking about dicks here. Go back. So it was kind of like always a struggle when somebody else is in control. You know, it's kind of like being a puppeteer as opposed to being like Pinocchio, like I'm a free puppet, or like Dobby with the sock, I'm a free elf. You know, that it was literally the same thing, because I was like, I'm in control of everything, you know? And they were like, he was like, no guests. Yeah, no guests until like 3 to 5 episodes in. I'm like, fuck that. The next episode, the first episode I did on my own, I actually don't even know if that one's still up, because the microphone was horrible. Like, it was choppy, the video. I just didn't have good equipment. So I think I saved it in my archives, but the first actual episode was the one I did after that the next week. And I had 2 guests on, and it is one of my top listened to and watched episodes to this day. And I'm 32 episodes in.
Congratulations.
It's called Rear Ended. Thank you. You can imagine what the topic was. It's exactly what you're thinking.
Hey, I tell people, man, as long as you're consistent with this thing, it can be fun. It can be fun. And it's crazy how what you can do, like network wise, with other people. That's what I told people all the time. To get on other people's shows. Yes, it's cool to have your show, but nobody's going to know anything of your show unless you keep promoting yourself out there. And I told people, like, that's one thing I take very good pride with from me learning from pro wrestling, is because I was an independent pro wrestler. I controlled my booking. I controlled my traveling. I controlled my the money I was making, the merch that I would sell, all that. Like, I already had that mindset. So when I started doing this podcast thing, I was like, oh, really? I can just do all this shit on my phone? I can just do this on a laptop? I'm good. Share. There you go. All right. We're just going to go all over this thing. Share. And people might get annoyed by it, but I'm like, hey, my shit's out there. That's all I need to know. And the funniest ones with you got the friends that will talk about it when they see you in person, but don't share the product.
Ever. I had a girl, and she literally would talk, like, we would talk all the time. And she would talk about my podcast all the time. It's so great. It's so this. It's so that. She wasn't even liking the page. I'm like, you don't even like the podcast page.
Gosh,
you don't share anything. So stop.
I'm like, man, do y'all realize how much work we put into this thing? Like, I'm not doing this just for my damn health. Like, I'm legit trying to grow this damn thing. And, and it's so funny because I was like, it's not that hard. It's free. Share. Like, one share that grows enough. That's all you need.
You make such a strong point, and I'm going to tell you now, it's the same thing with comedy. So many people, where can I see you live? Where are your shows? Because to be honest, a lot of my shows were in New Jersey. I did one in Florida.
You did one in Florida? Where in Florida?
Well, that was that's a whole nother story. But I was actually in Clearwater, Florida.
Okay, Tampa.
And it was a nightmare. I can't talk about it for legal reasons. We'll talk after the air. But it was a nightmare. But I usually do like New York and New Jersey just because that's who fucking books me. And guess what? I go where the money flows, baby. So
that's not a far drive, right? That's not real far.
No, and I can take the train if I want to. I don't even have to drive. So for me, like, I'm going to New York for SantaCon.
SantaCon. Okay.
SantaCon. It's going to be in Times Square. I'm doing a comedy show, and I'm going to be in a Santa dress. Depending on the weather, might turn into Santa pants underneath. But it is basically a bunch of drunk New Yorkers running around in Santa outfits. It's going to be probably the greatest time of my life. So, and I'm getting paid for it, which is even better, you know?
I love it. I love that. I was going to ask you about if you were going to have to wear a Santa Claus outfit or something like that. Like, that's pretty cool. SantaCon. I like that.
I elect to wear a Santa outfit wherever I can. Like, it's what hot girls do. We wear costumes.
So you got to tell me, do you reference anything regarding Disney in your comedy acts? One of my favorite comedians has got to be Robin Williams, especially when he would do the impersonations of Genie and stuff, and that non-edited version of it where he's talking about Genie is junk, and I'm like, I never thought of that one. And literally, it would just go so perfect.
Robin Williams is one of my favorite, I'm not even going to say comedian, just favorite people of all time. Second would be Alan Rickman. I don't even think I could name a third. Just those two are top.
George Carlin was one of mine. I like George Carlin.
He's cool, but he's not like
he wouldn't be over in this generation. I know that for a fact.
No. Same with Adam Sandler. It's like, you know.
He's
I love him though. And Bert Kreischer too. Bert Kreischer says, I've been trying to get on that man's podcast for so long. I swear I inbox that man all the time. I literally had people share and tag me in it. Like, Bert, please put her on your podcast. Only like 3 people, because, you know, people don't share even though it's free. But, you know, I'm like, Bert, man, come on. I'll show my titties. Like, come on. You know, what do I got to do here? I'm not going to show my titties. This is not OnlyFans. But yeah, I have tried, and you know what? It's
you
so
tried
crazy.
OnlyFans? Is that what you said?
I do have an OnlyFans. It's on brand. I'm a hoe.
There you go.
I don't get nude
Sell
on
the
it.
money.
People are very disappointed to hear that, but you know, I'm not getting naked on camera. You're not going to see my butthole on OnlyFans. Sorry, like it's just not going to happen. And it's not because I'm classy in any way. Obviously, I'm not. You know, it's just because like I don't want my kid to grow up one day and be like.
I've told people numerous times, like,
No.
I can only imagine, like, when their kids grow up and they start seeing this stuff.
My mom's
like,
a content
Mom,
creator.
I can't see this.
Bring your kid to work day. You gonna put him in the background while you're showing your fucking butthole on the camera? Like, hold the camera steady, Timmy.
Child support.
Child Protective Services, you mean?
Oh, I love it.
That's great.
So,
But yeah.
you transitioned from comedy into podcasting, and author. Let's go.
That came first. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The book came before anything. So, yeah.
The book was like the handcuffs off, basically, moment. Is that what you're trying to say?
The book was like the pants before you take off the underwear. You know what I mean? Like it was the first layer before you get to the lower layers. And let's say it's like winter time. So you had like the pants, then the Under Armour, then the underwear. So you had you had the book, and then you had the comedy, and then you had the podcast. Like the podcast was the final layer.
The challenge of it all.
And then the OnlyFans is what happens when you take everything off. So there you go. It's like a perfectly hatched out plan. I'm being stupid. Anyway, the book I wrote in my early 20s. Okay. It's called The Hoe Handbook. Before everybody gets excited, you're not going to see it until June. There's a reason for that. Because when I originally wrote this book, I was a very toxic, very traumatized and damaged 20-something. Okay. I wrote it I think I started it when I actually started it, if I'm remembering correctly, when I went to college. I went to college 2.5 hours away from home, and I was like, I'm going to be a fucking slut. I'm going to be a slut. I had no parents around. You know, I was like very sheltered. I'm like, oh yeah, spread your legs and fly instead of spread your wings. Like that's exactly what I had planned. So I had this little notebook that I carried around with me, and I'd write down like little things as I learned them. Like number one, I just put it in my hair, but always have a hair tie around the wrist. So you could be ready to, at any time, anywhere, keep a hair tie around the wrist. It's still number one in my Hoe Handbook. That's never going to change.
You're like a sex.
But it's not, because they all had little hidden messages in it. So for example, number one was to keep a hair tie around the wrist. Yes, the joke is so you can talk again anytime, anywhere. But in reality, it just means to be prepared. Anywhere you go, whatever you do, be prepared. Whatever that means to you is what matters. Be prepared. You know? Things like that. So when I wrote the book, I published it. I just wanted to be an author. I just wanted to be able to say that because I've always been an avid reader and a writer. I've written like 20 million short stories that I've never posted anywhere for whatever reason. Maybe I will one day. We'll see. Poetry, everything. I write bars sometimes, okay? Because I'll look back like, damn, that line is fire. And then I don't use it again. So like the notepad on my phone and the recording on my phone, like there's some serious bars in there. I think one night back when I was doing drugs, and I was up all night, I literally had the recorder going on my phone and I just rhymed every sentence I spoke for 5 straight hours. Yeah. The only drugs will do that to you, man, because I'm not proud of that, but I'm just saying, like, don't do drugs, kids. That's
5 hours. That is that's some consistency to keep grinding.
And I still have yet to even listen to it other than like the first 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, damn, these are straight. I was like literally Dr. Seuss. I picked one word, like me and you. And then I went like, had the flu, and then like literally went like that, but then built longer sentences. But it was actually really good. And it is a great tip, by the way, for public speaking. It's something I tell people all the time, except stare in the mirror when you do it, because sometimes we make stupid faces when we talk. Or download StreamYard. Well, go to StreamYard. You can't download it, but go to StreamYard, and then you can stare at yourself while you look like an idiot, and you rhyme for 5 straight hours. I think you get, like 10 hours of recording time on the free one?
I love how you said that, because I remember when I first started recording, I would say a lot, and I wouldn't realize it. I wouldn't realize it so much, and I'm like, oh my god, and it's like that does get annoying, and that's constantly, and like some things like I had a visual. I remember when I first started doing video, I was like, how does someone just look in the camera the whole damn time? And I'm like, now I listen. And it's like constantly, it's just like up a little bit, but I learned so much from it. And it's like, did I really say that many times?
So for me, my new thing that I've noticed, and mind you, I have a public speaking background. Should not even be a consideration. But for me, I say, and with that being said, a lot. Like a lot. And I'm like, all right, now I've noticed I've actually replaced it with, and with that being said, all the time. Like, girl, just embrace
it. That's a big replacement. That's a big replacement.
It is, but it sounds
go
so
from a
good.
simple word to like, you've been rhyming for 5 straight hours and stuff like that. So you got obviously that talent to like that replacement on the word.
Yeah, but I have a public speaking background. I should have been doing that from the start. And I still say a lot, to be fair. Because I have, in case you didn't notice, ADHD. So 7,000 miles a minute. My brain's like, whoa, girl, slow down. Wait a minute. So I can't embrace the silence. Like, there needs to be noise. There just has to be noise. And then noise has to be me, because I need attention. No, I'm kidding. No, because it's my show, and I'm like, they're all staring at me, and nobody's staring at me. It's me looking at me in the screen. So,
okay,
terrible.
So, obviously, your book is going to be published. Is that what you said?
So, my book, when I went back over it, because I technically took it off like shelves when my son was born, because I'm like, no. So it really was short-lived on shelves, but it was still like you could print to buy it, like buy to print or whatever that is. And then I finally, when I started comedy, took it completely down, because I'm using a lot of those jokes for my comedy. I have a 45-minute set that I based around that book. So, yeah. And now I'm my podcast.
You don't want to give them a cheat sheet, basically.
Basically, and also for my podcast, because I modeled a lot of the beginning episodes after that. Now it's just like kind of taken on a mind of its own, and I'm like, wait for me. I had like season 3 is about to be very different, because for a while, I won't get sidetracked, but for a while I was letting my guests pick the topic, which is not a problem. They're still great episodes, but modeling it after my book kind of didn't work out when you have totally different topics. It went from like a sexual empowerment show to a sexual and self-empowerment show, which is fine. It's fine. My podcast teaches people how to please and be pleasing through sexual and self-empowerment. That's really catchy. And every episode I tell people to go be a hoe and make me proud, which is going to be on the t-shirts. That's a real thing. That's my line. But what my book I'm working on right now from a 30-year-old perspective. Well, 31, but you get the message. Because I'm a little less toxic, little bit, not much, but just enough. I've been to therapy is what I'm saying. So, because for example, like some of the stuff in this book, remember, I carried this book around with me through college, the slut phase, it's not a hoe phase. That was a slut phase. There's a difference. Now I'm in the hoe phase. But I carried that book around me and I like wrote little notes, but some of that stuff was toxic. One bald guy did me dirty. Now they're all trash. And that's not how that works. You know, you can't teach people that. So I'm going through and kind of like, scratch, cringe, no. Or like, ooh, that's good. Let's expand on
like
that.
A hate book for a moment. That's what that sounds like.
Some of it is. And that's the stuff I'm taking out. So I'm like, oop, therapy said no. My therapist said no. Like, I took my book to her and I'm like, look at this. She's like, girl, this reeks of mental illness, you know? So I'm trying to pull the mental illness out of it. So yeah, I'm hoping, because I also keep telling people this, because my publisher that I'm working with hand in hand is like, June. We got this by June. And I'm like, we got this by June. Because I'm like, I don't think we got this by June. Like, there's still stuff I got to do. And in order for that to happen, I have to have this into her by January. Mm-hmm. And like, it's Christmas season.
You only got a month and a half of that.
I know! But I've also been working on it for like 7 months.
Hey, I've had some authors on here and they've told me like they've had this book made like 2 to 3 years in advance. And they just now got it published or something like that. And they don't even realize it because obviously they got so many books. And it's funny, like when they go, oh, it finally got published. It's like, so wouldn't that be your moment? You're like, oh, it just finally got published. Okay, I guess we're going to stick with this one.
I do not. Like, I want to make one a bestseller. Let's start with one.
You didn't want to do a season 2, you know? Maybe a little bit wiser type scenario for that.
That's what this one is.
That should be like your season. This should be the second novel, then.
No, because no one would listen to me after they read the first one. They'd be like, "She's ill, mentally ill." So, there are some valid points.
Just put a warning. I was young.
Right. Well, they do not care. I don't even want people to have some of that stuff, because that is not good advice. Like I said, like, bald guys would never get a date again. They'd never get a date again, because there was like a 1.5 page hate mail, like right there. Yeah, that guy did me dirty though, you know? So, like, watch out for guys with this initial. It's not J, surprisingly. I know you see that a lot online. It was not J. I won't tell you what it was. It'll be a surprise. You'll have to tune into my book to find out. But because that's staying.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert. It's been 11 years and that letter is still toxic. So it stays. But yeah, I didn't want to keep that first one out because it wasn't a good representation of what I was actually trying to teach, which was self-empowerment and sexual empowerment. Go be a hoe and make me proud, but please and be pleasing at the same time. So that's what I'm going for with my second book. You're smiling, but that is catchy, and you know it.
That is catchy. I'm not even lying. That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I like how you said, you know, I had to take the book off because I have a child, and I don't want my child being scarred. But it's like, oh, I'm going to make this book, but it's more wiser. I'm watching. Like, this is literally the edited version compared to what we saw this one.
Yeah, so the difference is my son found that book, it'd be like, she did what? And then this book is more like,
he's gonna see your comedy act, so it's like, what?
It's not like gangbangs. Let's get in it. You know, it's more like what to do if you're considering a gangbang. Like, you know what I mean? It's different. You know, and that was just an example. I'm trying to be funny here, but you're getting what I'm throwing. It's worded and presented.
I like the sense of humor. Yeah,
it's worded and presented very differently to where I'm not going to be like, I know my mom doesn't find this. I'm going to find it. This is a guide
to prepare yourself in these situations.
Right, and not something you have to prepare yourself to read instead. You know, that's the difference. Like I said, it's a guide. You're not going to call me a life coach. You're going to call me a guide, okay? Because I'm giving you the pamphlet or, you know, the little book, little manual, and we're going to go on different landmarks. And when you're ready, we'll go to the next one, you know. But you go there and you push the little button, and the machine's like, rah, 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 and it gives you the lesson. And I just stand there like this, and I answer questions, and then we go to the next one, just like a regular tour guide in a museum, but for sex.
There. Entrance. exit.
Exactly.
I like it. So
I mean, but most authors, really quick, I want to add this in because I am mentioning that I'm coming down to the wire time-wise. 99.5% of authors actually write their books within like 30 days because we all wait till last minute. We all panic. We all write, like, let's say maybe 25 to 50% of it. And then we stop. And then we just, because we hit a roadblock and then we just disappear from it completely. And then we're like, oh, we have 30 days. And then we're like, on the keyboard in like 2 weeks and it's done. So that's exactly what's going to happen here.
Book like that, like a book that's over 100 pages. I'm like, just how in the world can you stay consistent on this story and tell that story, the whole thing? And I'm just like, I couldn't do it. I would have probably tapped out at page 5 or 6 and then it's just been like, why am I doing this?
But we
and
do.
It's like,
we do that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We do that.
So how many pages are you arranging for this book? So how many pages are like in this book so far?
I think it's like 75. Because it's not, I don't know. I didn't double check it because I've added stuff, I've taken away stuff. So I can't tell you what the finished product is.
See, that's gotta be the most irritating part. Like, all this stuff and like not even half of it is what you put in the book. That part I never understood. Like, so many authors would tell me like, yeah, man, I write a page or 2 a day. Like, one author, he told me he literally would write 1 page a day. As long as he could write 1 page a day consistently, the book would be done on time. That's how he always said it. And it's like, the 1 page I literally didn't even put in the book because it just did not feel right that day.
It was trash.
It's like, holy cow. Like, you write a whole page and you're just like, there you go. That's gone. That's crazy.
That's actually a really good piece of advice, though.
He said literally he did 30 days straight. He would do a page a day and stay consistent with it. And then he would take a break after that 30th day, which he'll probably be almost done with the book by then. And then obviously get everything else situated with it. So he said it worked for him. He's done like 8 novels, I think. And he's into that fantasy, horrifying type.
I mean, mine is technically fantasy, just a different kind of fantasy. That's all, you know?
It's the Disney meets, what is it,
Disney
South Park
meets,
and everybody?
Disney meets. That's it. Just Disney meets. That's all.
The adult edition.
Right.
This one's a happily ever after.
Happily ever after, you know? Happy endings, you know? There you go.
There you go.
It's the happy endings.
So you did say something you wanted to talk about your podcast. You said that you were doing live episodes every single time. Now you're wanting to change that up for the next upcoming season?
All right, so this is the first place I'm going to drop this information before I tell everybody else. But I am completely changing the way I do my podcast because it gets a little difficult when it's live because we have lives. I'm a Virgo. So what I'm going to do instead is actually pre-record my episodes because I'm also going to get into very serious topics with my next season. My season 3 opener is going to be about human trafficking. Like, it's going to get pretty serious. And that is really just to punch in the gut because my season 2 ending, my finale, is a survivor episode with other survivors like me. Somebody who survived over 20 gunshots. So, yeah.
You're from Philly, so yeah, that's bound to happen.
Yeah. I mean, another guy, he's not even from Philly. He survived, I think he said a shotgun. And that's a shotgun, but regardless, that's my point. I'm kind of ending it and starting it with very serious topics. And then I'm still going to have my funny sexual topics. I throw jokey joking everywhere. So just know it's a survivor episode, but I'm still going to throw a jokey joke in there. I already told 2 of them are comedians. One is me, and obviously another one is comedian. So there's going to be jokes thrown all over the place. Bullets and jokes everywhere. That's what's going to happen.
That's the perfect part about it.
Exactly. But I am going to start getting into a little bit more serious topics, but also I'm moving my podcast to Patreon because people are going to need to have a subscription in order to watch it now. So if you don't catch it live, or when, I don't even know if I'm going to be doing live anymore at all, honestly. I think I'm just going to put bits and pieces on the streaming platforms that I have, with the exception of the audio. The audio will always be available, but you will not get everything that you will get when you have Patreon instead. Then you'll get the full episodes, you'll get the behind the scenes and everything like that. So I built up enough of a fan base within the first 2 seasons to make that happen.
Yeah. That definitely can be troubling. I won't even lie about that. I don't ever reveal my secrets out. All my stuff is pre-planned, and it's made wonders for me. I can just extend that through all the way through at least a month or so, because I remember I pre-record, so I do it kind of crazy. I will never do it like this again. I recorded 10 episodes in one day, and yeah.
Did you like change shirts in between, like it was a modeling show or something?
It was an adventure. That is
like,
the best.
Wife, hand me my red polo.
That was an adventure. My wife was just like, "Are you literally in front of this camera the entire time?" I'm like, "Yeah." And the funny thing is, when I first started doing podcasts, so I did audio only because I was in my garage. So literally, I didn't want to obviously everybody see my damn garage all the time. And I'm saying,
it has been kind of where you are, where all summer I was in front of this computer. I have over 100 interviews that I've done because I did the same thing. Like, I was like, all right, if I plan 4 or 5 in a row, I don't have to worry about it for a couple of days. But then I do that like 3 or 4 days in a row. And then I'm like, like asleep in front of the computer.
I loved when I edited the last episode I just did, because I was so tired. Like, I did one episode with a friend of mine from wrestling, and we went an hour and a half. And then I forgot I had to do this. I had to do another episode, and I was just like, oh my God. Like, I literally said, I will never do this again. I will do 4 to 5 minimum. Never do 10 in one damn day. Like, and the sad thing is, their scheduling, they're like, oh, I can only do this time. And I'm like, shit. So I literally have to trim this episode down to 30 minutes because this one's going right behind it. Like, I had to plan the episodes each accordingly to keep going. That was just like, my wife was like amazed. She's like, well, you're at least a consistent on. I was like, I won't do this again.
I'm surprised your wife wasn't like, do I exist? We got kids?
Oh, it got there. It got there. That's why so what I do is, so I take a 3-month break around the summertime because I get my son. I get my son, and I only see him 5 times out of a year because he lives 8 hours away. Right. And with school and stuff, I can't fully travel out there every week. Yeah. So I get him 5 times a year, so I literally plan it out. So I take my break when I get him, so I can have that whole time with the family for the whole summer.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I started a little bit later this year.
Family. No, I'm just kidding.
I started a little bit early. I started a bit later because I used to start on August, and I would go to August all the way to April. I started in September. Now I'm starting in September until April this time. So it's like literally that 3-month break, refresh, really ready to go. Plus me getting prepared to get back in the ring and stuff. So I was getting myself literally back in this mentality just to keep going, like consistency back in the gym and all this stuff. I was just like, that break was amazing.
I bet.
It was like a whole new person when I got back in this camera. I was like, do I remember to do this?
Take the arms out strut. You know what I'm talking about?
What's that?
Did you do the strut? You know what I mean? Where you put the arms out and you're like this when you walk everywhere.
That's a
I call it the peacock strut.
The peacock strut.
I
haven't heard that one. I ain't heard that one yet. I've heard some other ones, but the peacock strut. It's the icing on the cake right there. You might need to brand that. That should be one of your new
I'm gonna brand Ho. That's my brand.
Lord only knows how many people have already tried to do that one.
Well, guess what? They didn't have a hoe handbook, so
That's your incentive.
for a following. I literally have my first comedy show that I am hosting myself next month. Actually, oh my God, it's in a couple weeks. Oh my God. But anyway, yeah. And it's called a Ho 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 holiday show.
I saw something of that. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I have my little Santa outfit on.
I was going to say, you at least got to wear the Santa outfit.
I wore it I took pictures for the promo, for the flyer.
Okay.
I was not playing. And then I post my hoe pics.
So I know you're not big on TV or stuff, but so obviously with you big on Disney stuff, did you see the new trailer about the Die Hard Santa Claus now? It's called, what is it, Killing Night or something like that? It's like
there's a new Die Hard?
Die Hard. No, this is the reference. Like it's Santa Claus meets Die Hard. Like it's a Santa Claus that's saving this family that's hijacked in a house or something like that. I don't know. I was like, I might check this out just to see, because I've always told people, like, I don't know why a lot of people don't remake Christmas movies like in a comedy standpoint. Like, I've always said that would be the most perfect idea to do. It's easy to do and you can't really hurt people's feelings. But
yes, you can.
You forgot about this generation. A word can hurt everybody's feelings. So it's just like,
well, you have to also consider when you're doing comedy that not everybody celebrates Christmas. So you got to do Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa instead.
Gotta learn to hold the feelings in sometimes.
All in one. Or you could do like 8 Crazy Nights. Was a great it's a great holiday movie. It's a family.
It's an instant classic.
It's a classic. It really is. That movie's I'm a poopsicle. That's the greatest movie, one of the greatest movies of all time. Team America, fantastic. Because if you offend everybody, no one can really be singled out, right?
That's why I was like, if you get so many offensive words, like what can the comedy standpoint be anymore? Like
that's kind of the goal. So I don't do roast comedy. That's what I call that. It's where you're literally going to insult someone. That's the point. I try to stray away from that just because, number one, like everybody goes for the teeth when they talk about me. And I'm like, I'm not self-conscious about my teeth. Like, I can make dolphin noises if I shoot water through my teeth. Can you? No, Jessica, sit down. Like, but I don't like doing that because it's an easy way to get canceled. I've watched it happen. I watched somebody completely tank their comedy career in 10 seconds. I'm not going to get into how or why.
Holy cow.
10 seconds. I'll tell you off live, but yeah, 10 seconds. It took a long time for that person to rebuild and start getting booked again. But if you offend everybody in this one segment that you're doing, you're fine because everybody's offended. You said, and then somebody would be like, but you said, but he said, and then they're all like, oh, everybody got it. Okay. If you leave, but that's a dangerous game because if you leave someone out, you're screwed. You're screwed. There's no way around it. You tank your career. That's why I stay away from stuff like that. I make fun of myself.
That's like the main go-to for all comedians now.
And my family.
Hart, really the most popular ones really on himself. Kevin Hart. He makes fun of how short he is. He makes fun of
his son. He makes fun of his family.
He makes fun of his family, which I always said if I was going to be a comedian, my family would definitely be my comedy act for a fact. And I joked around and said, man, you saw how Jeff Dunham is literally on wife number 3. I'd probably married at least 6 times if that was the case. Because literally I would have my family be like so damn mad at me. Like, I'd be like, hey, we're making money. We're good. Like, hey, you like that new car? That joke that was referencing you? But hey, it made money. And apparently, I've noticed a lot of those comedians, they're married way more numbers than one.
Listen, I can't even get somebody to text me back, okay?
Oh, no.
I need to know what they're doing. Like, damn, I thought you had to be either hot or funny. I'm hot and funny, and I'm still unmarried because I'm a hoe. I knew it was something. Damn.
Damn it. There's always New Year's resolution, right?
I'm still going to be a hoe. Because you can be a hoe for everyone or a hoe for someone's son or daughter. I'm bisexual. So
there you go.
Mind your husbands and your wives. God bless.
All right. Is there any final things you want to say? Any last minute shout outs, anything, guys? The links will be below. Check her out. Check her podcast out. I mean, I definitely
check me out twice.
I might have to check the podcast out. I love the personality. Like,
thanks.
Just comedy standpoint, it's perfect.
I told you I act a fool. I act a fool. This is just who I am. But yes, if anybody wants to see anything I'm working on or updates on my book, anything like that, just go to cakanooble.com. Everything is on there. So it just makes it easier. For anybody who's interested in mental health things, mentallyKillproject.org is the website for that. I made it all by myself. So thanks in advance for your compliments. Yeah, I'm not technically inclined. So the fact that I made 2 websites, like I do graphic design, that I'm so good with. But building the website was like,
that's a pain in the ass. I'm not even gonna lie.
And if you get somebody to do it for you, it's expensive. So I did mine for free. I did mine for free all by myself. It's basic, but so am I. So, you're basic. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you can just go on either one of my websites. You want to find out more about me. Hoping my book's out by June. That's really the only other shout out. My podcast is Ho on the Go. You can find it anywhere, but you said the links will be below, so I'm not going to waste the breath. But on social media, you can find me across the board at CA Kanooble.
All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely want to have you on again. This was a great chat. A lot of fun. And guys, check those links below. I think videos of your comedy acts and stuff. I definitely want to see some.
They're on my YouTube
stuff. Oh, they're on YouTube.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Link be below, guys. Check her out. Make this girl, make this girl famous, man. Make her famous.
Thank you. And if I don't get famous, can you at least subscribe to my OnlyFans? Like I'm struggling here. You are
going to be the first person on this podcast that I'm going to promote the OnlyFans.
Listen, I'm going to promote whatever I need to, but just know if you subscribe to my OnlyFans, I'm not naked. There's no nudes. You might catch some lingerie. That's about the best you'll get. That's it.
Oh, there you go. Maybe a lot of Disney stuff. It
might be. I do have a few costumes. Just, for a certain amount of money,
any certain occasion, right?
Or no, any certain dollar amount. Fuck the occasion. The dollar amount is what matters. I am a starving artist.
I love it.
I eat though. I'm curvy. I'm eating. I'm not starving. I'm just struggling. There's.
Oh man! All right. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thanks. You too. I had a great time.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. I'd like to give you go home cue. First and foremost, I'd like to say, CA Kanooble. Thank you for coming on today, having a good chat with us, having a great laugh. Oh my goodness, that was a great chat. Definitely be sure to have her back on really, really soon. That was an excitement for real. Like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. But guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, most importantly, subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay in contact with all our platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, Tumblr, all of them. Also, Trixie wants to say hello. Go. Oh, Lord. But guys, thank y'all. This is the perfect episode to finish off the new year for 2022. Obviously, we just finished out the season finale for the commission last Wednesday. This Wednesday just went by with my boy Dre on Wheels and Eric the Joker. We had a lot of fun. We talked about the top 5 greatest and worst moments of professional wrestling of 2022. It was really interesting. It was a lot of fun, and definitely looking forward to seeing these guys again the week of the Royal Rumble. We will be on Eric the Joker's Wrestling Asylum
will be on there for the week of the Royal Rumble. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be excitement. It's going to be a big show, guys. If you're a WWE fan, you in for a treat, man. We got a big Rumble coming up, and no spoilers are coming out. I mean, obviously, we hear some returns coming in. We talk about, some guys are about to possibly come in and out. But, man, this one's going to be one of those most watched Royal Rumbles in a long, long time. I'm excited. Triple H is doing a great job with the WWE itself. Wrestling as a whole is doing amazing. Obviously, guys, people have been asking me regarding with the El Nino situation, what's going on with that. A lot of people expected me to be there on the recent show they just had. I just want to apologize to anyone if they thought about that. I literally was there just to promote the show. Sorry I disappointed anyone that was expecting me to be there. Like I said, I didn't say I was going to be there, and I didn't say I wasn't. It was just a matter of my schedule was free to do it. And sadly, I wasn't able to do it. But definitely. And the positive thing of it all was there's a lot of things cooking for season 4. We are not done. This is not a season finale for season 4. Keep going until April or May. It just depends because obviously we started a little bit later, so it will depends on how we're going to do with that. But, man, I'm just blessed beyond measures. We got Christmas this Sunday. I'm spending with my kids. We've already been all over the place lately. We just got back from Disney World, and, that's been very hectic. If you follow my social media accounts, you see that we basically brought Disney home. When I say we brought Disney home, we bought the monorail and the freaking Disney Magic Kingdom Castle displays. When I say displays, like the toy set, basically, but they're huge. They're huge items, but kids love it. It was their Christmas, and I got so much more, which is even scarier. And obviously, I've got a schedule. I got a schedule being around the family and stuff like that until my son goes back home on the 26th. So it's going to be a busy, hectic weekend for sure for me. My boys, the Jaguar, a couple of podcasts. Make sure y'all check out my boy Jay Lyric, the Intimate Conversations with Jay Lyric. His episodes are every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook and YouTube. I joked around calling this man the 904 Steve Harvey. Like, man, this man puts the heat down for stuff. Obviously, also check out my girls, the CNC Connection affiliated with Off the Top Ropes Podcast, a.k.a. my boy Blackheart, the head honcho of the mob. And they come out there and give their wrestling perspective is a female's perspective. They're very good, very entertaining, very, very energetic in their episodes. And most importantly, they're pretty daggone knowledgeable on it. Courtney, obviously, very good experience regarding with the independents. Shar, Miss Moxley is what I would like to call her. Shar has great experience for all of wrestling, but her main focus is obviously AEW, Impact, and obviously sometimes the WWE. But big fan of New Japan. Obviously Miss Courtney over there is the queen of the Indies. Very big fan of the Indies, anti-AEW, and obviously just a wrestling fan itself. Check out the CNC Connection. Obviously, guys, check out my boy, Mr. Kofi Weester from the Dirty Podcast, him and Brother Bub, and their great content. Also, I want to give a shout out to the Cheap Pop Wrestling Podcast from me being in their fantasy wrestling tournament. I think that's what it was called. Obviously, I just joined in. It started to be some fun. I saw some things of it their last season, last tournament. So I was like, hey, why not? I'll just try it. They said, hey, you want to get yourself in, whatever. I am facing the Jabba Tears podcast. That's right, guys. One of the top wrestling podcasts is out there right now to this day. The Jobber Tears podcast. are going against Mr. Red, White, and Blue from the Buzzing With Marlowe podcast, one-on-one into the finals. Next week is the big decision. Who's winning the belt? Is it going to be yours truly or the Jobbeteers podcast? And I think I got a good chance, guys. I mean, my tag teams, the picks I have, I'm pretty confident with the ones I got. Obviously, Riddle was one of mine, so I got to worry about that one. But other than that, should be good. I'm excited to see what goes on with that. Obviously, there's a lot of big things going on around. Obviously, trying to think, is there anything else? Obviously, I want to just air the elephant in the room on this one. My boy, the GOAT himself, Mr. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, a.k.a. the Black Adam, a.k.a. the savior of DC, in my opinion, wrote this statement talking about him stepping down from the DC universe as Black Adam. James Gunn apparently is not continuing with Henry Cavill or The Rock in the Black Adam thing or the sequels or whatever. They're not continuing what's going on. And we will read the message that The Rock put out today. My passionate friends, I wanted to give you a long-awaited Black Adam update regarding the character's future in the new DC universe. James Gunn and I connected, and Black Adam will not be in their first chapter of storytelling. However, DC and $7 have agreed to continue exploring the most valuable ways Black Adam can be utilized in future DC multiverse chapters. James and I have known each other for years and have always rooted for each other to succeed. It's no different now. I will always root for DC and Marvel to win and win big. You guys know me. I have a very thick skin, and you can always count on me to be direct with my words. That's right, guys. He ain't no phony. And obviously, let's finish it out. These decisions made by James and DC leadership represent their vision of DCU through their creative lens after 15 years of relentless hard work to finally make Black Adam. I'm very proud of the film we delivered for fans worldwide. I will always look back on the fan reaction to Black Adam with tremendous gratitude, humility, and love. We did great. To my very passionate, vocal Black Adam superhero genre fans, I love you, thank you, and I will always listen to you and do my best to deliver and entertain you. What a hell of a year. Now we all need some Terramana. Have a productive week and happy holidays to you and your family. Signed, DJ. It's a sad moment, man. I don't know how to take that. My opinion, man, I might do an episode where we talk about reviewing Black Adam because, in my opinion, I really liked Black Adam. I thought it was a good story. I thought the movie did its thing. You know what? We will possibly cover a movie review. I might have somebody on here to talk about comics and stuff like that. Really an experienced person talking about the comics and giving their opinion on it and seeing what I'm not seeing, because I really thought Black Adam stood out and did a great job in the film. So what all these mixed reactions and stuff that people were talking about, I was just like, I don't see it. I don't see it, but who knows? Maybe it's just because obviously I'm a Rock fan, whatever. But there has been some movies that I've seen with The Rock, and I did. So, but guys, this is another great episode of Buzzing with Marlowe, episode 117. And guys, Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I will see you next Friday when we have more bzzz down the road. Boop, 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 boom. Later. And 3, 2, 1. Merry Christmas.